Hello and welcome back to episode 6 of our How to Create a Landscape series. Today we'll be going over some HDRI stuff. So to begin with, we're just going to go up to plugins, and then at the top here we're going to search HDRI Backdrop. I already have it installed, but make sure to install this and then restart the engine. Okay, once you've restarted your client, we're going to go up to the Place Actors tab and then search for HDRI Backdrop. And once we drag this into the scene, you can see that it has this half sphere with the HDR information inside. So we can move this around and it'll update the lighting. I'm just going to drag all my environment lighting into one spot really quick. Now if I disable all the environment light but just keep the HDRI backdrop enabled, you can see that it is giving off light where elsewhere in the level it's not. So we're going to click HDRI backdrop and then increase the size to encapsulate our little world. Once we've expanded it, we can lower it on the Z-axis, and then you'll see that it updates in real time. Now, this HDRI isn't the best for my scene because there's a bunch of trees out in the back there, so I'm just gonna go find another one really quick, and then I'll be right back. Alright, I've just downloaded my HDRI off of Polyhaven. I'll link this one in the description. Once you have it installed though, we can select our HDRI and then simply drag it into the cube map slot. Now if we want to change the brightness, we can mess around with the intensity. If we come down to our skylight inside of the HDRI backdrop, we can see this cube map slot right here. And above that, we want to switch that to SLS specified cube map and then drag our cube map in there. That way our lighting will look exactly like the HDRI that we're using. Afterwards, we can start turning on our other settings. Now with our volumetric cloud, if you can't see any of them, it could be that the HDRI is still too small. So if we increase it a little bit, then we can see the clouds pop in. Alright, so the next setting we're going to look at is the exponential height fog. When we enable this, we can see the black fog out in the distance. So we can change the density. And if we want to change that black to another color, what we can do is click the color, and then take the eyedropper, and then pick something that's natural to our environment versus a random color that we feel like. That'll give us something more realistic. And if we want, we can even drop our HDRI into the fog map and it'll give us something more close to what our HDR is. And then finally, I'm going to re-enable our directional light because I'm not a fan of how the shadows are looking right now. So I'm just going to reposition this so I can get some good shadows coming from where our sun is located. Okay, so our landscape's looking good, but if we want to get a cinematic view of it so we can export a screenshot, what we can do is come over here to perspective and then scroll down to cinematic viewport, and this will increase the quality of our lighting and shadows. So we can just come down to a position that might be interesting and find a good angle, and then we can come back up to the perspective, and instead of switching over viewports, we can create a camera, and we're going to create a cine camera actor and also create a new folder to hold this in. Now I'm just going to look around the island for another interesting shot, and if you want help finding a certain spot, you can come over next to perspective and turn this 3x3 grid on, and then it'll kind of help you with your compositioning if you want to do rule of thirds or some other various one. So I'm just going to place the other camera right around here, and then I'm going to create another cine camera actor and put this in the same folder. If I come over here and disable the composition overlays and then go back over to perspective, you can see our two cameras here, and then we can easily switch in between them. Once we're happy with what our area kind of looks like, we can go up to that cine camera actor 1, scroll all the way down to the bottom, high resolution screenshot, and then use date and time as image name and capture. So in the bottom right here, if we click this location, it'll bring up the window of where it saved it to, and we can double click that and open it up. And this is a very basic screenshot. As you can see, the water is still in motion. and it's a little bit blurry. That's the high resolution screenshot is just kind of a quick way of capturing your scene. In the next episode, I'm going to be going over sequencer and the camera and how to actually export a video. So yeah, that's kind of the basics of HDRIs and the volumetric effects. You're going to have to spend a lot of time messing around with it. It's basically a whole discipline in of itself to learn about how the lighting systems work. But this should be enough to get you going on whatever landscape you're doing for now. And that's all for now. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next episode.